Means I am back. The queen is back in the palace, and I missed you all, but not more than I enjoyed my vacation, honey. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to combine my Love and Marriage Huntsville recap into one episode. So I'm going to be covering two episodes in one review. I'm covering episode number 7 and episode number 8, of course, season 6. Okay. Now, I'm going to start off with episode 7. There's a few things that I noticed in last week's episode immediately. The first thing I noticed is that Stormy's earrings. She had a third eye on her earrings. And when you think about the third eye, it is symbolic for warding off evil spirits. So yeah, Stormy. Stormy and Tisha, they're on some petty shit right now because I believe that Stormy is low-key shading Melody by wearing that third eye. Remember when Tisha called Melody or accused Melody of having an evil dark soul? So yeah, I'm going to wear my third eye to ward off any evil dark spirits. Yeah, cute Stormy, but I caught it. The second thing I noticed is that Martell literally, episode 7, fired Sheree on national television. Sheree done got demoted from being his girlfriend on The Real Housewives of Atlanta to his friend girl. I got to pause on that. To his friend girl. That's something. Sheree, that is something because friend girl is an old terminology that most older women use. So I guess Martell wants you to know that the party is over. In the words of Nene Leakes, the door is closed. Now, Sheree, how in the hell did you find yourself, okay, in two failed situationships back to back on your show? Last season with Tyrone and this season with Martell Holt. Child. Third thing I noticed is that Stormy, in my opinion, is purposely attempting to disrupt and go full-blown ghetto on this show. I started to notice that a couple of episodes ago. And at first I thought, well, maybe she's just turning up. But then by some of the things she said at the tea party, this episode, last time, I'm like, nah, I feel like Stormy is attempting to turn this show into Love and Hip Hop. And maybe she's good for television. I just don't think she's good for this show. For those of you who are just tuned in, or if you're new to the channel, welcome to the palace. I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to reality television, but most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience.
Subscribe now.
So first things first, Carlos King, while you busy trying to sabotage the efforts of the Real Housewives of Atlanta and their production team, you should consider sweeping around your own front door because your shit is falling apart right before your eyes. Yeah, I said it. Your shit is falling apart right before your eyes. You are pushing these fake ass storylines. And not only do you do it on Love and Marriage Huntsville, but you're also trying to take it to the Real Housewives of Atlanta by helping Martell to pretend to have been in a relationship with Sheree. It's almost like everywhere you go, there you are, Carlos. Why? What's the point of trying to destroy somebody else's show when your shit is falling apart? Huh? Now, here's what we would like to see from your cast members, with the exception of Melody. Is there a reason that we're not seeing what's really going on with your cast members in their real life, in real reality, real time? Okay? That's what I would like to know. Episode 7. They open up the scene with Martell conducting a walkthrough through the event, the space that he has for his magazine party. So according to Martell, this is his first time that he's had a major spotlight on him since he and Melody parted ways. Okay. Very interesting. I thought that was very interesting. But to the ladies, that are frolicking with Martell. Did y'all hear that? Melody gave him a life that none of you can fathom. And according to Martell, Melody has that Midas touch, baby. Everything she touches turns to gold. So you may want to consider that, ladies, as you're attempting to, I don't know how that works with being with the Martell Holt, but whatever it is that you're tasked with, what's embedded in his brain is his ex-wife. Let's take a look.
It was the first time I had a major spotlight on me without the company of Melody.
We want to present you all with this.
Oh, man.
Now we see him say that, right? But wait, because what is this all about? The lady asked Martell if he has a special guest coming, and this is what this fool said.
Perfect.
Do you have any special guests coming?
I do have a friend. She's what? I have a lot of special guests coming.
I told y'all, Martell likes to keep his women packed tight in the same room like a can of sardines. Martell has more than one on that roster, okay? So let's shift a little bit. Melody threw a girls' powwow. It was Miss Mel, it was Miss Nell, so it was Mel, Nell, Tiffany, and Kiki. Kiki came last. And I'm guessing Melody had the ladies come in order so that she can let Tiffany know, listen, girl, I got Kiki coming, and I'm just trying to get y'all back together. You know, I'm trying to get you all back on the right track. Well, I love how Melody, in my opinion, I really like how she's trying and she's working hard to get this show turned around and really get everybody back on track to being black and excellent. Because the ratings are dropping. And no one seems to care but Melody on the cast. I mean, Carlos is off somewhere. I don't know what the hell Carlos is doing at this point. He seemed to abandon his own show, his own ship. If it ain't no drama, I don't think Carlos is interested at this point. Because that's what it's very much giving, okay? And I feel like the group is divided. You have one side that's trying or attempting to work to get things back on track. And then you have the other side that's kind of hell-bent on going out with a bang. Tiffany and Kiki talked. Okay. Kiki did a lot of talking at this event at Melody's house. Tiffany, I still want or need to hear you own up to your part, because it's not all on Kiki. Because in a minute, honey, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I mean in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the negative side is about to turn on you. Stormy and Letitia are coming for you. They obviously need a new target, right? They need a new target. So guess what? You're it. And nobody's going to be able to help you because you have not developed a solid fan base that's going to have your back as you appear on this show. You see how this works, Tiffany? A season or so ago, Stormy used you in her promotional campaign to promote her stuff. And now she's turning on you just like she turned on Melody. You see how this works? So, Letitia, Stormy, and Kimmy meet. And this is Letitia's invite to the ladies to come out. Now, according to Letitia, they're meeting under the guise, well, this is what she gave us. She said they're meeting because she wished the tea party would have gone better and Stormy didn't necessarily showcase herself in a respectful talking manner when it came to Melody. Letitia, I did not hear you seriously hold Stormy accountable at all. And if you did, then production really did a disservice to you because it did not make the cut. Okay? Y'all talked about everything else except Stormy's ghetto ass behavior. And I feel like Stormy insists on making things as difficult as possible. Did y'all low-key hear? Did y'all hear when she low-key referred to Mel's event as a Mary Poppins pompous bullshit? Mary Poppins pompous BS. Like, this girl, Stormy, is like literally for real, disgusted or appears to be disgusted with classy, respectful communication, which tells me that you and your mama purposely disrupted that tea event. I know the show is supposed to be Love and Marriage Huntsville, but what the hell is going on with all of these marriages? Because according to Letitia, Tiffany has Tiffany has her own mess, allegedly, that she should be focused on. Okay, so Letitia shared, Tiffany should be concerned about the own rumors that's going on in her marriage. And then I thought, wait, what rumors? Because if it's the swingers rumors, then Martell already let that cat out the bag with that one. 2 seasons ago? So my question to you, Letitia, is if we are to assume or believe the rumors that are out there regarding Tiffany's marriage, can we also assume that the rumors about your marriage are true regarding your husband and your makeup artist, allegedly? You see how that works, y'all? Letitia, do you see how that works? So if we are to believe that Tiffany got a little something going on, or Lewis, whomever, got a little something going on, is it true about Marcel? Child, let's transition to the party. What are your thoughts about Martell's party? Overall, was it on the same scale as what you thought it would be? Are you impressed? Are you underwhelmed? Were you overwhelmed? What are your thoughts? I want to hear from y'all before I share my thoughts. Okay, I'm not going to cover every detail of this party. I'm just going to call out a few things that stood out to me while watching the party on my television. All right, so the first thing I noticed is that Stormy, in the middle of the party, and I'm like, if all of this is going on at the party, then the party ain't really happening like that. It ain't giving what it needs to give. It's giving banquet. Because if that party was really jumping, ain't no way in the world they would have been able to film a scene like that with those women talking and going at each other, because the music would have been pumping, the vibe would have been elevated, and nobody would have had time for mess. But in the middle of this party, Stormy decides that she doesn't know how she should feel about Tiffany, because she and Tiffany initially got off to a really bad start. And she thought Tiffany was messy, but now she knows Tiffany is messy for sure. Stormy, girl, stop playing. That's right up your alley. What's the problem? You and Miss Betty should feel right at home. Seriously, don't play with us. The second thing I noticed is that when Kiki walked up, I guess Stormy noticed that the energy had shifted to a positive one between Kiki and Tiffany. So Stormy said, wait, hold up. Did y'all make up or something? And the ladies were like, yeah, Melody threw a lunch. She invited us and we were able to clear the air. So instead of Stormy letting it be and allowing the ladies to come together, she acts confused. Wait, I'm confused. So she goes and gets Letitia to come and verify her gossip, right? And she wants to bring up this old ass text message that Tiffany and Kiki shared over a year ago to get them back at each other's throats. It worked. Kiki switched up real quick. Letitia did attempt to defuse the situation. Kiki switched up real quick and turned on Tiffany yet again after they had already squashed everything at Melody's house. Okay. Now, in Kiki's defense, she did say, you know what, I'm not trying to go there. But she let Stormy pump her ass up, utilize her for drama, and boom, there we have it. So now Kiki and Tiffany are back at odds because of Stormy. And Stormy's argument is, we can't clean up nothing. Or it's going to be here until we put it all on the table. Well, see, that's the thing, sweetheart. You don't get to decide what people put on the table. Everybody's not you. Everybody doesn't cuss their mama out. Everybody don't have that type of relationship, that dysfunctional as toxic communication style that you do. Everybody doesn't enjoy conflict at the level that you do. So yeah, you don't get to decide how people decide to come together. They squashed it. You should have let it go. Third thing, Sheree was like a fish out of water. But she looked great. She looked excellent coming through that door. She gave Real Housewives of Atlanta while on Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I started thinking about it. I said, is she behaving like a fish out of water because she and Martell are lacking a connection? Or is she behaving like a fish out of water because this Kingdom Reign shit is really low budget compared to what she's used to? Oh, child, yes. Okay. So maybe that's why she was looking around and maybe she was thinking to herself, no, I didn't. No, I did not hop my behind in my car and drive all the way here for this banquet. I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts? What are your thoughts? Even Kimmy and Maurice had to admit in their confessional that Martell and Sheree ain't no Mel and Martell. But we don't expect them to be, right? See, when a man and or a woman moves on, we got to forget everything that they had with the other person. But I got what they were saying. They were just saying there was absolutely no chemistry, no connection at all. And it's giving fake storyline, pretty much. Okay, like a business arrangement, fake storyline. Can you help me get paid? I need something to talk about outside of my ex-wife. I ain't got shit going on. You look like you ain't got shit going on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Carlos told me to hit you up. You were Kenya. Kenya didn't take the bait. You did. What's up? What can we do? Boom. Okay. I believe it was also awkward is because Martell made it awkward. He said, well, why do you think that, Queen Sheba? Because I believe Martell had a whole bunch of women in this room. Who are these ladies? Y'all didn't catch all that? I caught it. Who are these? Who are these women? I got a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion. You know what? Don't worry about it. Let me go to episode 8. All right, we're going to transition into episode 8. There are a few things, Carlos King, that your production team could be worried about outside of trying to insert Melody, Sheree, and everybody's storyline. Now, y'all were doing good the first 2 episodes, but it seems like it's coming back full circle to Melody, Sheree. And I know damn well, and in some instances, facts, that you should be focused on other stuff with your cast members. Okay? First things first, Stormy has a lien on her house for not paying her interior decorators. Make it make sense, but you ain't talking about that. Now, how does she get to show up, have a failing business that's not sending out products, have one meeting, and then she's off the chopping block? Roll it back, spin the block. We want to see how she cleaned this shit up and how she's able to get those orders out. And not only that, we want to hear from her customers. Show us how she's contacting her customers. Show us the reviews. Did they get those? How many orders, y'all? 4,000 to 5,000 orders that she's behind on? And did you pay them people for decorating your house? See, that's a lot that you could be presenting, but you're not. And the question is why? This girl hired a high-profile decorating company to come into her home, and now she refuses to pay the people after they did the job. Y'all, if that ain't ghetto, I don't know what is. That is like, what do they call it? Highway robbery. So now we stealing, not only from our customers, but we just gonna steal from businesses in Huntsville and don't give a damn. And then we don't have to talk about it. Okay. All right, Kingdom Reigns. All right, I guess if that's what y'all doing. Number 2, another thing y'all can be talking about is the Scotts. They have a lien for over $61,000. Why did they really move into an apartment? See, that's real life. That's called reality television. Break it down for us. Help us to understand it a little bit better. Why are you allowing them to skate around and meet in black, 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 black? Right? That's unrealistic. That's not reality television. That's giving cover up. What are we covering up? And why do you feel the need to protect them? You exposed Melody and Martell. You disrupted her child's birthday party. You allowed somebody to come on your show to question the paternity of their youngest child. Okay, you know what? It's given. You know what it's given, Carlos? It's giving your sermon that you just preached this Sunday. How people have to be careful of one person that will send an army to attack them. It sounds like you're talking about yourself and what you've done to Melody. Because you did allow her to be attacked for a number of years. And you really pressed the gas. Because had the viewers not had an outrage, I don't even know where this show would be right now. Had the viewers not pushed back and say, hold up, wait a minute. This is feeling a bit demonic. This is feeling a little abusive. A lot of abusive. And you need to do something about it. So that sermon was right on time, and I hope you took notes. The third thing that you could be talking about is Black and that alleged boom boom room. Yeah, that Marcel's boom boom room where he's swinging it high and low. Okay, you're not talking about that. How come you won't confront him about that? Allegedly, he's having shenanigans in that room with that makeup artist amongst a lot of other women. So this is just not specific to her, but whomever else has made the cut to be able to go in the back on that leather sofa or whatever else is back there. Fourth thing you could be talking about is Martell's alleged new baby girl. Isn't that reality? Is that not a part of his life? Does he not have a child? I could be wrong. But I've yet to hear him refute having a new baby. Let's move on. A fifth thing that you could be talking about is why. Ask Letitia, hey, with your new product line, why did you copy the Canvas Beauty customer service template? Are you collaborating with Canvas Beauty? Or did you just not know what to say and you went on that site and copied it and copy that and utilize it for your own template? You see all the other shit we got going on that you could be talking about that you don't want to. And that's why your ratings are dropping. Carlos, there's a lot that you could be doing. All right. Number one, what stood out to me is that I actually liked Letitia and Kiki together. Like a Thelma and Louise situation, if production can set that up. Neither, in my opinion, neither of them are breakout stars, and that's okay. But together they do well when it's positive, when they're not fighting. And I think it would be nice to see them film more. Let's see them out more and about. Let's see them out more with their sunglasses on, shopping, eating, dining, hitting the city, focusing on their own lives, their own marriages, their own children, their own projects. I think that would be a great positive introduction with Letitia and Kiki. No mess, no drama, moving forward as two Black women that have had enough and they're trying to do something different. That would be a great spin, like a Thelma and a Louise. Okay? The second thing is, Tiffany, what are you doing? Tiffany is literally pimping herself out to get paid, in my opinion. Girl, I think you are throwing shit out there just to see what's going to stick. And if it makes the cutting room floor, you get paid. I got you. I understand that. But here's the thing, Tiffany. Once you buy into that villain role, you've got to adopt it 1,000%. And here's the thing about becoming a villain. Nobody likes you. So make sure if that's the route you're going, you can take it because you're still a woman. And you're still a woman, you still have feelings and emotions, and it's not good to be that negative all the time. Something has to give, right? So I think you should really consider that, because when you become the villain, you're not leaving room for your husband. You're literally etching him out of your storyline. And Tiffany, we like Big Lou. We like Big Lou. So your production team really needs to work with you to think about how there can be some type of balance, to whereas it's not just you being this bad guy, but let us see more of you and your family, you and your husband, Big Lou at baseball practice, because he does a hell of a job with his sporting complex and what he does for the kids in the community. So there needs to be a balance with that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I know Carlos is behind this. All right. So the third thing is Maurice. Maurice, why are you here? What are you doing? Because Kimmy is literally carrying you on her back right now. The lady can't even get through her stuff, her medical stuff. Because Maurice, you really not showing up strong. You're not. Where do you work? What do you do? You get what I'm saying? All right. Number 4, I'm not feeling Stormy. I guess her role is to be the ratchet and ghetto girl on the show, because that's definitely how they're typecasting her. Congratulations, Stormy. You've shifted from business owner to business owner who's stealing from her customers, allegedly, who cannot manage her orders, who's just that bitch. Let you tell her, I'm just that bitch. Well, that's how they're typecasting you on this show. And I really hope that you're able to make a comeback from that, because it's normally hard once you get typecasted like that. I feel there's a shift happening. And let me tell you what I mean. There's a great divide, but it's a good one. There's Mel, there's Nell, and Kimmy. And they seem to be merging and flourishing as the cream of the crop on the show when it comes to the women. The women who are really trying to go in a positive direction. Kimmy, you're going to have to choose a side, sweetheart. You can't float. You're going to have to stand 10 toes down in your womanhood and what you choose to do and how you choose to be, right? Because when you don't fit in on either side. So that's just my feedback. And these are conversations that the production team should be having. They should want to see you all do well on this show. Do they not sit down and talk to you all like this? Because there's some potential for Kimmy with the right production team. Sheree. So Sheree, the day after the party, she informs Martell that she was offended by Tiffany's line of questions. And Martell decides, okay, he's going to confront Tiffany. But he brings Marcel for backup. He lures Tiffany to meet with him at Black with both he and Marcel. Now, he tells Tiffany that it's because they have business to do and he's interested in doing business. I don't like that kind of shit from a man. That's kind of crazy. I want to do business with you, but I'm finna ambush your ass in front of another man. And you're not going to have any protection. I'm going to make sure your husband's not going to be here. I'm going to make you feel safe. And that's pretty sneaky and low down, Martell, because he played off of her strength. Business is her strength. You got to be careful with a goddamn narcissist. You got to be careful when you're dealing with a narc. You never know what you're walking into. But let me get back on track. So he lures Tiffany there under the guise of business. Now, Tiffany, let me tell you why Marcel was so vocal. This wasn't by accident. They already knew what time it was. You just didn't know. Letitia knew, Sheree knew, Marcel knew, and Martell knew. Marcel has a problem with you for talking about his affairs. He don't want another cast member talking about it because he made a backhanded deal with Carlos King that he and his family were safe. So that's why he was so vocal with you at the table. That's why he has so much venom for you at the table, because I'm off limits. Me and my boom boom room shouldn't even be in your mouth. You get what I'm saying? Y'all, am I off? What are your thoughts? So, Tiffany, that's why Marcel has an issue with you. And that's why he showed up locked and loaded. And he actually had more emotion for you than Martell did. Okay? That wasn't by accident. Marcel tagged along to get a few things off his chest. Now, Tiffany, I'm going to say this because I got to be fair. I try to be fair. You brought this on yourself. I told you, if you're going to play the villain, people will forget that you're a woman and they'll come back at you equally as hard. I'm not saying that it's right for two men to confront you, nor do I condone the way they did that. And it was very aggressive. However, Tiffany, I don't feel sorry for you, because you got to think before you talk. You got to weigh the consequences of your actions. And y'all, let me tell you something. Martell was low-key raging, in my opinion. He doesn't like to be outed or made to look bad. And when you saw him storm off and start to get his books, his school books, yeah, he was low-key raging in that moment. And that was real. That was real emotion, and that was raw. I want to wrap up with Kimmy and Maurice. If I could, I would like to wrap up with Kimmy and Maurice. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Kimmy, you picked the wrong man. Maurice, in my opinion, maybe, I don't know what Maurice is. I'm going to just say, I'm not seeing it for you, Kimmy, as a husband. And I believe that he's going to stress you out and continue to stress you out. Ladies, gentlemen, what are y'all's thoughts about Kimmy and Maurice in this dynamic? Over the past 2 episodes, you know, with him just not really appearing to be supportive. Kimmy, I feel like you're out on an island. I really feel like she's on an island by herself. Imagine that. This lady's still not done with all of her treatments and having to fight so hard. You know, with all of this masculine and feminine conversation, if you let folks tell it, the man is supposed to lead. Yet Maurice is refusing to lead and provide for his wife and give her what she needs. It's funny that chores was not on the list, and I'm going to explain why, in my opinion, to all of you and to Kimmy, okay? It's a given that chores should have been number 1, because most people understand that chores are necessary to keep the house clean and tidy, because an unkept home causes discombobulation. So you say, well, how come it didn't make the list? If you're thinking that, what are your thoughts? Let me pause before I really tell you what I think. Do you think chores should have been like one of the first thoughts for Maurice to be like, yeah, my son got to clean up the house, do his laundry, whatever it is that, you know, teenage boys needs to do, make their bed. Should chores have been on the list? Here's why I think chores were not on the list. I think chores were not on the list because Maurice doesn't care. It's not his home. It ain't his shit. He didn't work hard for it, so he has no emotional ties to the house. And it's not registering in his consciousness to put it on the list to take care of this house. It ain't his house. Now, here's what I mean by that. Yes, Kimmy put his name on a deed, but that was her house. She worked hard for that, not him. He just came into something and acquired ownership by default. But he didn't put blood, sweat, and tears into the home, because had he done so, it would have been a given that he would have required his son to clean up after himself and to physically contribute to the house by way of the yard, cleaning up your room. Do y'all get what I'm trying to say here? Yeah. I don't think that Maurice considers this his home or his son's home, point blank, period. And nobody will ever take care of your stuff like you will. And Kimmy, I just want to say this. I've noticed that Maurice doesn't seem to give you much willingly. He didn't give you his hand in marriage willingly. He didn't give you a honeymoon willingly. He didn't give you a voice in the marriage willingly when he relocated his family, his first family, to Huntsville. He told you, but he didn't include you in that decision. He doesn't appear to be giving you his support in the home willingly. And as a result, here you are, Kimmy. Here you are. You're basically fighting with a man just to be able to cohabitate. So you're basically fighting with a man just to be able to cohabitate peacefully in what's supposed to be a union. Follow me. Y'all following me? They're supposed to be one. And every time she appears to do work to bring them all closer together, he sabotages her efforts. In my opinion, Maurice's behavior is that of a boy who was forced to marry. Kimmy, I kind of feel like I'm repeating myself now. Maurice is wearing you out physically, mentally, and emotionally. And now, according to the next episode, he's not performing up to par in the bedroom. I don't know. I don't think Maurice is going to be able to keep up the act too much longer. He's not allowing you to rest in your femininity, and he literally has you working your ass off just to be with him. What's the prize in that, Kimmy? What's the prize?
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy.